mm, 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 mm. You are live, and maybe this is a I like the lights I got in the background. Actually, let me fix my lighting really quickly and see if that light can pop a little bit more. Hey, it's popping. It's popping. All right, cool. I think that looks better, a little bit better anyway. All right. Hey everybody. Um there's 10 people in here already and 5 of them are on YouTube. Hey everybody. Welcome to this live stream on Tuned Into Tennis. We are doing a quick turnaround tonight. It is probably close to your bedtime if you're watching this live, but we are going to entertain you just enough to get me situated with a men's singles champion at the US Open this year because I have not filled out a bracket. And yeah, I want to do so before the US Open gets started promptly at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time tomorrow in the borough of Queens, New York. And to help me do that is a true New Yorker himself, a friend to the show, really important stake in the Tune Into Tennis village. And I'm speaking about Mr. Karan, aka Q Money. Welcome, Mr. Karan. How you doing?
I'm doing good, Miles. How are you?
I am happy to be in the land of the living and happy to get this show on the road because the stream with Karima and I was fun, but went a lot longer than expected. And I know you are a man of great time management skills. So I imagine you're going to get us in and out of here very quickly.
I guess I have to get to the land of the Spartans tomorrow, so and it's already 11:26. So absolutely.
You know what? There's a future Spartan that's gonna come up in this draw, and I want to make sure we give him a nice shout out whenever that time comes. But for now, let's look at our last couple of men's singles US Open champions. Although it's not really that entertaining because it seems like Djokovic and Nadal have won most of them. Djokovic is a defending champion from wait, this is wrong. This is not right because it says 2023 Alcaraz. That's not right. Who made this on Twitter? First Sports Tennis. This is not an accurate graphic because Djokovic is the 2023 champion and Alcaraz is the 2022 champion. Medvedev is 2021. I'm right, aren't I?
Yes, because pandemic US Open team won, so it's a year off.
Yeah, it's a year off, but I guess that's a good excuse for us to look at this great picture of Novak Djokovic. Actually, let me get that off the screen right now because
not enjoyable.
you weren't interested. You were interested.
Not at all.
Sorry. I was trying to find something that summed up the US Open. Actually, you know what? This is a good one. I think this is a real good one. It's Carlos and another guy that seem to be getting a lot of headlines at the moment for different reasons, and that is Carlos and Jannik Sinner.
Best friends, but right now, myself as a Carlos fan and Jannik fans are arguing on Twitter for some reason, but
yeah, I don't know why men's tennis over the past 15 years, I think Twitter's been around for 15 years now, but men's tennis has really gotten to some interesting stan wars. I mean, I guess because of the legacy of the big three, that's how it really started, but it seems to be trickling into Carlos Alcaraz and Jannik Sinner because they obviously seem to be like the heirs of the throne of the big three. So yeah, not really happy about some of the stuff I see, but
correct.
What are you gonna do?
Support Carlos Alcaraz in it all. That's what I'm going to do.
Hi, Cam Youngblood. Thanks for tapping in. Make sure to subscribe. I know that's really corny, when you guys go to YouTube streams and just YouTube videos in general, and the first thing they say is subscribe, subscribe, subscribe. But you know, it's free. It's not going to cost you an arm, leg, or a liver, and it really does help the growth of the show. So make sure you subscribe. Me and Karan would appreciate it. So without further ado, I'm going to get us get this bracket showing here. Let's make sure it's showing. No, it's not showing. Share. No. I want to share this tab. There we go. All right. We're going to make sure. You like how I set it up?
I like how you set that up.
We are going to do. Karan has already made his bracket pick, so this is mostly going to be me walking through the men's draw. I have walked through it, so none of these first round matches are really going to be a huge surprise to me. But I haven't filled out a draw to the point of picking up a champion. So this is you guys' opportunity to nail me to the cross for my terrible takes and hold it to me for the next 2 weeks, and you know. Clip up this show and be like, Miles, didn't you say Marcos Giron was going to be the champion? Yes, I did say that. So
I hope you did not say that.
That's not what I said. But whoever I end up allowing to be champion, you guys can hold me to it. Semifinalists, quarterfinalists, all that. All right, this is your time to hold me to a champion. All right, let's get this party started right. Hi, Slazorin, by the way. He was referring to the graph that we showed earlier. This graph is showing how the defending champ from the previous year did, aka no one defended since 2008 Federer. That is true. So if Djokovic is going to win this one this year, he is going to, I guess, create even more history. Him being his first time in, I know, right? Defending. By the way, just pure disclaimer, me and Karan are very healthy in our stance of not being Djokovic #1 fans. It is what it Absolutely. Is. If that is something that really itches your butt, maybe this isn't the stream for you. But if you're okay with it, then let's have a good time. You can't please everybody, but here we go. All right. Jannik Sinner is the world #1 seed. Doping or not, that's where it is. He takes on. Well, I mean, am I wrong? I mean, doping or not, that's what they said.
You're not wrong. According to that report. You're not wrong.
They said doping or not, he's going to play this U.S. Open, okay? I'm going to have him getting through Mackenzie McDonald. Let me pull up this draw because I don't think for whatever reason, this bracket that I'm using for this bracket that I'm using for to help us along is not accurate to like 100%, and I don't like that. But I do know Alex Nicholson is next up behind Jannik Sinner, and I believe he plays a qualifier also from the United States. Yeah. His name is it's escaping me. It's
Elliot Spizzarezzi. I don't know say that boy name.
Sounds Italian. Elliot Spizzarezzi. No. Spizzitti. Spiz. Sorry. I mean, you know, Alex Nicholson did look good in Winston-Salem this week up until he decided to shoot that ball into the stands and avoid getting defaulted for whoever knows why. Who knows why that he avoided that? And that could be a whole another topic. But I'm going to give Alex. They pick and choose who does what, right? I think I'm going to give that to Alex Nicholson. So
that goes to Alex 100%
in the draw. Yeah. By the way, if you're watching this on YouTube and or Twitter, feel free to let me know your thoughts on the draw in the comments. It's so much more fun that way. Don't just be a listener. Engage with me and Karan because, like I said, it's more fun that way. All right. Next up, we got Thomas, excuse me. Yeah, this thing is so off. We got Matteo Bellucci. Thomas Bellucci was a Brazilian from back in the day. We got Matteo Bellucci versus Stan Wawrinka. Matteo Bellucci qualified. Wawrinka got the wild card. Part of me wants to give it to the qualifier because he already won 3 matches.
And you're going to go against Stan the man.
When was the last time Stan Wawrinka won 3 matches in a row?
Okay, well,
and I would actually take that further. When was the last time Stan Wawrinka beat somebody who had won 3 matches in a row?
Well, you're not wrong. I just don't see Stan losing in the first round of this major.
This may be his swan song of the U.S. Open. I can't.
Correct.
It's hard for me to wrap my mind around him coming back to U.S. Open next year. Even though he has won this title before, people kind of sleep on it. He's a 2016 champion. You know what? For shits and giggles, I'll give him a win, but I would not be surprised if he loses. All right, Stan, you can get that win. You can get that one, my brother. Next up, we got Christopher O'Connell versus Nicholas Jarry, who, by my account, has not won a match since Rome on tour. And he's not bad on hard courts by any means. I just don't know why it would turn around this week.
Last two losses to Musetti and Echeverry.
Where were they, Karan?
Musetti, I want to say, was Cincinnati. Echeverry was Canadian Open, or it could be flipped. But I know that those were his last two matches. I don't see.
But can he get through? But can he get through O'Connell? No, O'Connell's kind of a scrub, kind of not at the same time.
Well, I will say I believe that his last two matches were 3-setters with both of those players. And I don't watch enough Christian O'Connell. However, I don't.
That man's name is Christopher, not Christian.
Is it Christopher? Okay, well, sorry,
it's Christopher.
Sorry, Christopher. Don't put me in your tweets now. But Christopher, my bad. I don't watch enough of him, but I do watch Nicholas Jarry, and he's just not in any good form right now, and so I don't see him picking it up at a major where he's going to win this match in 3 sets. But correct, Karima, I agree with you that he should win this match. The question is, will he?
I'm gonna give it to him because Karima was talking good 30 minutes ago, so I'm gonna give him this win. I'm gonna give him. He got to win eventually, right? No,
correct. But she was talking good about Nicholas Jarry.
No. She was just talking good tennis insight in general. So I'm gonna allow her to be correct in this one. I just don't know. He can't be on a 20-something match losing streak like our good auntie Zhang Shuai, huh? That's not what his name is it?
That's not good. He got a good auntie.
Yeah, she's definitely 20-something matches in a row that she's lost. I don't think Nicholas Jarry is going to come close to that, but so with that reason, I'm gonna give him a win here. It gotta start somewhere, right? Then we got Arthur Fils versus this damn app.
Lerner 10.
Lerner 10 won a couple matches in Winston-Salem, so he's in form. I really hope Arthur Fils figures out.
He should get through that.
How to get through that match. I really hope he does. Our good friend in Tuned to Tennis, Steven, just texted me and said he can't figure out how to comment on YouTube. I don't understand why that's
old age catching up with you, Steven.
I mean, he did call himself a dummy in the text message he sent, but I just don't understand I don't understand where it may be hard for. I know he's watching this right now, so he's probably judging the hell out of us. Just like there should be a clear feature for you to like comment on your phone.
Isn't it on this? Yes, on this.
Oh, he said he figured it out. He said he figured it out. So so hopefully we see a comment from him soon.
I'm home in the room.
Easy peasy. Like Scott said, easy peasy. Hey, Scott. Thanks for tapping in. And Scott, I appreciated our conversation the other day in Twitter Spaces with your movie review crew. They were really cool. So thanks for inviting me into that space of Twitter. I appreciate it. All right.
What was y'all reviewing?
It wasn't necessarily a review of a specific movie, just like a movie club. Scott probably would be able to describe it a lot better because that was my first time being in it. But just some movie junkies talking about movies. It was kind of fun. Arthur Fils hopefully makes his way through Lerner 10. I hope that's not a problem for him. Do you see a comment from Steven yet? I don't see one.
I have not.
Steven. Like, I wonder where he's commenting at if it's not showing up in here.
Stephen, it's giving boomer generation, Stephen.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Yaume Munar. I like saying his name because I don't think there's anybody really named Yaume on tour. He takes on Gabriel Diallo. Do you know who Gabriel Diallo is, Karan?
Yes, and I want to give him the win.
Me too. Me too.
I do want to give. I did give him the win. So I just said that.
Oh, there Steven is. He said, "Oh my God, leave me alone. This is not a safe space." Yes, it is. We weren't talking bad about. Well, Karan did throw in some subtle digs. Not me. I'm just glad you found your way to the space, Steven. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you are. We would appreciate you in the number. I'm gonna give Diallo that match because he saved 2 match points in qualifying, and typically that is a turning point. And, there's one of your faves that used to love saving match points and go on to win tournaments, but she retired, so I'll leave her alone. This is ATP talk.
Yes, let's leave her in the WTA.
Ashley, hey Ashley. Ashley said, "When is this space ever safe?" Hey, I curate safe spaces in tennis. I don't know why y'all don't feel space or feel,
but Ashley is
safe.
talking with a lot of sense right now. I agree, Ashley. It's a very vulnerable space. You got to come in there being prepared. Okay.
Really? Y'all feel like you got to really be, ready to tussle in my spaces?
Well, absolutely.
I don't feel that way.
I come in there ready to stand on 10 toes down for my faves. So
y'all know what I describe. Y'all know what I describe Tuned Into Tennis as, or I've always wanted it to be. I wanted it to be a Buffalo Wild Wings for tennis. Y'all know it can get real. I'm not gonna say rough in Buffalo Wild Wings or Chili's or Applebee's, wherever you just find your neighborhood cheap bar to watch sports, but it can be lively and boisterous, and people are really leaning into the culture of sports. Tennis doesn't have that. So when I open up a space, whether it's Twitter Spaces, Instagram Live, YouTube live stream, I want it to be like that, because sometimes tennis can be way too stuffy, and that's not my thing. That's not my thing. But yes, glad to have you, Ashley. All right, moving on before we here for 2.5 hours like we were with Karima. Max Purcell versus Alexander Vukic. Cannot
Who's
say
the last person who won a match in this.
I actually think it's Vukic, so I'm gonna go with Vukic. I'm not a fan of Max Purcell.
It was a hope and a prayer.
Not a fan. Oh yeah, Christian, I saw you in the comments. Yes, Diallo. I like Christian. You also look like a Gabriel Diallo. I need y'all to do like the inner cheek swab.
Yeah,
and see what's going on there. Y'all don't look like identical twins, but cousins. Yeah, y'all they were definitely cousins. They were cousins. We got this is actually interesting one. I'm interested to hear your take on this first round. It's one of the more interesting ones, simply because Sonego just lifted a title a couple days ago, and he takes on Tommy Paul, who's also having the best season of his career. Yeah.
I don't know what's going on with Tommy Paul in this U.S. swing right now. I picked him to win the match because he should win the match. However, I will say I can see Tommy Paul losing that match in 4 sets to Sonego. Sonego hits a nice ball, but Tommy's defense I think should get him through that match. So I did pick Tommy Paul.
Okay, I'll pick Tommy because I do think over 5 sets, Tommy Paul with the U.S. Open crowd should get him through, keep him focused enough to kind of get through that match, even if it is a battle. But Lorenzo is going to make it a battle if he does nothing else. So
correct.
I'd be surprised if it's not 4 sets. If not 5. We can also stop here for a second because Tsitsipas takes on Kokkinakis, and you know what I want to do.
You want to pick Kokkinakis?
I do.
I picked Kokkinakis as well because
fine. You're giving me nothing but free reign to do it. We ain't even got to talk about it longer.
He is known to flop, and I have no time for him at the U.S. Open. And I would just like if he flopped early. So
Kokkinakis it is, because he's not going to get to like the 4th round. He's never done that. I don't see how he's like in some splendiferous form to do so do so this year. Ashley said, "Woo, y'all have some faith in Paul." Are you saying that you don't have faith in Paul, Ashley, or we have too much? Like, what are you?
Are you
What are
basing
you
that just
saying?
off of his recent form? I think I'm trying to look at his whole season and say that he.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because this season has been, I mean, I know he reached the semifinal at Australia last year, which was his best Grand Slam result, but this season on the tour has been his best. I know his lead up to the US Open hasn't been great, but that's mostly because he had to come from Paris, where he probably really enjoyed celebrating that bronze medal. And, you know,
A little
it's not
too
like
well.
it's not like he lost to complete scrubs. So,
Yes.
yeah. Ashley said Kokkinakis beating Steph would pop you or shock you.
Well, definitely be
Well,
prepared to be
bzzz.
popped, shocked, or whatever. I don't think Tsitsipas is winning that match.
Pop, shocked, and rocked.
Okay,
I mean,
pop,
and City. Tsitsipas might very well win that match, but we here on this panel are not rooting for it. And this is, you know, mostly our fantasy draft. And in our fantasy at the moment, Tsitsipas is not winning that.
He's never in any fantasy of mine.
Wait, what, Scott? Why do y'all think it's so above happening? Tsitsipas is that's not the same man that lost 2 sets, 6-love to Daniel Galan at the US Open. I'm making that up.
Ooh.
I know I didn't make that up. Wikipedia is going to tell me, hold on, hold your horses. I said we're going to be done with this in about an hour and a half. I got time to look up Tsitsipas's Wikipedia and make sure I didn't make that up.
He lost to Jack Draper in Cincinnati. He lost to Kei Nishikori in Canada. Also,
his best result at the US Open is a 3rd round, which he achieved in 2020 and 2021. His 2023 result at the US Open was he lost to Dominic Stricker in 2023. The year before that, in 2022, he did lose in the first round. Let me make sure who it was. Drum roll, please. He lost to Daniel Galan of what is his first name? Daniel Ilahi Galan Riveros of Colombia. 6-love, 6-1, 3-6, 7-5. So if Daniel Galan can do it, I don't see why Kokkinakis can't do that.
It's get him out of here.
Prison. No, not prison. Don't go to prison. We're just joking. We're just joking. Yeah, Steven's right. Kokkinakis is always dragging someone to 5 sets in early slam rounds. So yeah.
And beating them. Like he just did it. Like I know people hate to bring it up. He literally just did this to Felix if we go back a month. In a match that he should have lost. So
and Karima, what I just mentioned about Tsitsipas losing to Daniel Galan was the 2022 first round. So it's possible that he's packed up his bag sooner. So it's possible. All right, moving on. Nuno Borges versus Federico Coria, 2 guys that I think are a lot more comfortable on clay courts. I'll give it to Nuno though because I think he's just been having a better overall season.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
This guy's last name really is Schoolkate.
I picked him because I like his name. Mm-hmm.
But you don't think he's better than Taro Daniel, do you?
Oh, I absolutely 100% do not. I picked him off his name.
You just want to see Schoolkate in the second. I'm gonna go against the grain, I guess, and pick Taro Daniel to get to the second round.
Oh, okay. You ready to talk about this next one?
I was like, are we gonna sit here and talk for a good 10 minutes about Jakob Mensik beating Felix Auger-Aliassime?
Because he is, and I do have him beating Felix Auger-Aliassime in the first round of the US. Christian's court, calling Christian's court. Do you want to come in here and give us a reason as to why Felix is winning this match? Because me and Karan are not convinced. Now, if this was Casper Ruud he was playing, apparently he's figured out how to beat Casper Ruud. I'm not sure if he's figured out how to beat Jakob Mensik. I don't even know if they played. Have they played before? I have no clue. I just think that Felix is going to lose that match because Felix is going to show up. He's not going to have a good haircut, and he's going to go out there. Well, he's not. I mean, if he needs a haircut, Felix, if you're listening, Denavi, he works in Stony Brook, New York. He can get you $40. That's all it costs. But he's going to lose that match.
I am so shook at you actually name dropping a barber.
That's my
that
barber
is
name.
insane.
Denavi.
Denavi? What about his haircut here? What about his haircut right here? Does it look good?
No. Now you put your hands up to Jesus.
I don't think his haircut looks bad right here. He's holding his bronze medal fresh from Paris.
Got that widow's peak is peaking, okay?
I like Felix's widow's peak.
It's not bad.
It's not bad.
If I'm not gonna talk about nobody because I look like Felix is gonna look like tomorrow under this hat. That's why I got it on. And my widow's peak is peaking itself. But you line it up.
Felix, actually I just looked at their head-to-head, or I just looked on Twitter really quickly. They have played each other before. Felix beat Jakub Mensik en route to that Madrid final. Totally different circumstances in the U.S. Open. So with that being said, and Steven's great addition here that Mensik lost in qualies of both Cincy and Canada, I'm gonna push our Canadian brother through to the second round. Okay.
Thanks for that knowledge, Stephen. Did not know that. I might have to make a change. I got to sleep on it, but I might have to make a change.
You got to sleep on it like Danny Kane and make a change like Michael Jackson did. Okay.
Yeah,
I know that's right. Okay. We got Flavio Caboli. I'll push him through to the second round because he made the DC final. He's playing some really good tennis. Zizou Bergs, a name that is popular on tennis Twitter for some reason or another, versus Pavel Kotov. I am impressed with Pavel Kotov, and I think Steven is too, because he's of the how do I say this in a very PG-13 way? He is very economical. I feel like he knows his way around a Pizza Hut and a weight room, and for that I am enjoying Pavel Kotov.
I don't even know what that means.
Let's just say he looks more like he's built like Stan Wawrinka than Daniil Medvedev. Let's say that.
Okay.
He's that kind of Russian. He's stocky.
Got it. Okay.
You know who Hamad Medjedovic is, right?
Yes.
That's what Pavel Kotov looks like.
Oh, okay. Look, I picked him.
It's built like. Yeah.
So he's just nice on your. He's just nice on your eyes.
Not necessarily. He just is built very not traditionally tennis like, and for that I'll give him an edge because I like more representation of different body styles in tennis. Always have. That's all. Oh wait, speaking of Hamad Medjedovic, that's the very next match. And I'm gonna give another stocky brother a chance to get into the second round. So I'll pick Hamad Medjedovic over Fabian Marajan, even though Medjedovic really hasn't had a great season dealing with some injuries himself. But this is my fantasy draft or my fantasy bracket, and I'll fill it out how I see fit, I guess. Again, wow, I didn't even know this was happening. Speaking of a complete opposite body type to Medjedovic, we have Daniil Medvedev versus Dusan Lajovic. I'm going to pick Medvedev. Yeah.
It could be a tough match.
Yeah, Medvedev's never been sent out of the U.S. Open that early in years, so it's not going to happen to Dusan Lajovic.
Absolutely not.
It's not.
Oh, Young Goat is next. Young Goat.
Who's Young Goat? Alcaraz. Yes, Carlos Alcaraz is next in the draw. He takes on Li Tu. Li Tu, I have absolutely positively never seen your name in a major ATP draw before, so all the best to you. I know that $100,000 is going to be very influential. No, I'm dead ass. Yeah, that's going to be great. I think he's like 20. I think he's like 28 years old too. Like that's shit. I'll take it after winning 3 matches at qualifying.
mean, I would too. Let me say I'll take it too. Just go ahead and tell the hotel you packing your bags and you're leaving on Wednesday after you lose on center court. All right.
Yeah, Carlos should not drop a set in that match. If he does, then something is going.
Well, I wouldn't say that
astray.
because we got to see how he looks after this ankle that he hurt. But he's saying that he's feeling fine. But he always likes to say that. You know, he gives me a little Novak Djokovic where he'll kind of say he's feeling fine, but he's still feeling the effects of his injuries. But
That's how you feel about Carlos Alcaraz?
yeah, I mean that's my fave. So you know, I absolutely do. I do.
Oh,
I think sometimes
Scott,
he kind of skimmies it.
Scott, that's a good call too. When describing tennis players' bodies and the variation of them, Nalbandian had a different body type compared to like Davydenko or Roger Federer or something like that. Yeah, so Nalbandian is canceled now. Steven is so funny. All right, moving on. We got Shapovalov, who also might be canceled, versus Botic van de Zandsloop. That's a first round match. I actually don't know
who to pick.
Yeah, because they both can stink it up. They both can stink it up. Shapovalov. Go ahead.
I want to see Shapovalov versus Carlos on this court, so I pick Shapovalov. But Botic can, when he wants to, he can play some very good tennis. And Dennis, we could either be in for a day where he's hitting the courts or he's hitting MetLife Stadium, which is right across the street. I picked Dennis. Hopefully that he comes in with his head actually on his shoulders and, not playing baseball like Madison Keys.
We'll go with Shapovalov. Ooh, not Madison Keys catching a stray on an ATP stream. Cetus Lapidus. Next, we got Facundo Diaz Acosta versus Hugo Gaston. I'm going to go with Facundo because Hugo Gaston likes to let tennis balls slip out of his pocket and didn't swear he didn't do it to try to win a point. So that's not good.
I kind of admire that. So I picked Gaston.
Oh, so you admire cheaters?
I didn't say that he was cheating. Listen, sometimes you gotta. Never mind. Moving on.
Sometimes you got to do things to win matches, just like Jack Draper had to pretend he didn't feel that ball double bounce on his racket against Felix, and that's who is next up in the draw, Jack Draper versus Zhang Zhizhen. And for that reason, I'm going to pick Zhang Zhizhen to win that match. Not only because I think Zhang Zhizhen and Jack Draper could be a good match and very tight, but that little extra edge, I'm going to go against
hate that
Draper.
Jack Draper did that to himself because I really did like Jack Draper. I liked watching him play tennis. And then after that, I'm like, I really can't support you in the ways in which you go about the game. So
I may get over it, just not in the weeks right after it. So
it was to a black man, so I probably will never get over
it. I probably will get over it, especially if Draper ever makes some kind of innuendo or just outright statement that he watched it back and he was wrong for not saying that he felt that, because he really should have felt that. Most professionals know when they hit a ball into the ground. But whatever. Either way, I'm going to give Zhang Zhizhen the win in that matchup in the first round. Next, we have Alejandro Tabilo versus David Goffin, which isn't a popcorn match, but if you're a really niche diehard tennis fan, that could be interesting because Tabilo's having the best year of his career, and David Goffin picked up a couple wins in Winston-Salem. So
Court 5, ESPN Plus, nobody's going to watch. Tabilo's going to win the match, though.
I actually think I'm going to give it to David Goffin. I think I'm going to give it.
Oh, Miles. What has David Goffin done for you lately?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
He won a couple of matches in Winston-Salem, though, so that may be just kind of he may be pulling it together for a last hurrah, because him, Gael Monfils, Richard Gasquet, who announced that would be his last U.S. Open, Diego Schwartzman, Milos Raonic, Kei Nishikori, all these guys are living on borrowed time. So, see, look.
Well, Milos should just go back into retirement. But
Ashley said Goffin still tussling. See, I mean,
somehow Ashley, he's still out there on that court.
So, yeah, but I think he's going to get a win in that match and kind of get an upset over Alejandro Tabilo. I might be wrong though. I might be wrong. Some other veterans, more so Manarino than Chorich, but those two play in the first round. Manarino's been really stinking it up on the court lately. He might be like on a 10 match or so, maybe longer than that, losing streak. So I'm gonna give it to Borna Chorich, who looked pretty good in Winston-Salem.
Can he get? Let me ask you a question. Do you think he can get it back? Do you think he can get back to winning ways, like he's a consistent somebody? We can say he might make it to a fourth, a quarterfinal. Like right now, I see him as us saying he might get to a second or third round of a major.
Chorich, you mean?
Out. Yes, Borna Chorich. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think there's another Grand Slam with him and a fourth round, maybe quarterfinal. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah, maybe. I think there's another surge for Borna Chorich. I don't know if it's going to be like, top 15 again, but I think there's a draw that could swing his way and he find himself in a fourth round. Yeah.
Can he win another 1,000?
No.
Okay. All right. Got it.
But I'll give him a 500 somewhere, like a DC.
A Basel.
Bingo. DC, Basel. What else is a 500? Halle is a 500. He likes the grass.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something like that. All right. Moving on. Who else we got? We're making pretty good progress. Fabio Fognini versus Thomas Mahach. I'm not voting for Fabio Fognini, so Thomas Mahach, you're going to be in the second round.
ESPN Plus.
What about this matchup here? Corentin Moutet versus Sebastian Korda. Where are they going to put that one at?
It might get grandstand. I can see it because he's an American.
Mm-hmm.
It's going, and it's probably going to be late at night, so they can put the TV on there. And Brad Gilbert calls him the next great thing that's coming for American tennis. But yes,
all really, really potentially true things. Honestly, when you've watched enough tennis, you can definitely piece that together. But I'm gonna say Sebastian Korda wins that, even though it could be a very crazy match because Corentin Moutet is crazy himself. All right, where are we in the section? Whose quarter are we in now? Whose quarter is?
We have to be in Zverev's, aren't we?
I think we're still in Carlos's. No, I think we're still in Carlos. Yeah, we're still in Carlos's.
Yeah,
we have a couple more before we enter. Zverev, because Zverev is at the bottom half of the draw. Now we have Alex de Minaur versus Marcos Giron, which is kind of interesting because they've been on two different trajectories since Wimbledon. Alex de Minaur left Wimbledon injured, and Marcos Giron left Wimbledon, stayed on the grass, and won his first ATP Tour title in Newport. And he's not had a amazing North American hard court swing, but he's had better matches than de Minaur because de Minaur hasn't played any.
I would say de Minaur hasn't played, and so it's a question of what form is de Minaur going to actually, how is he going to show up? And he's had success on the U.S. hard courts. I want to say it was either a fourth or a quarterfinal that he actually made it to here at the U.S. Open before. I gave it to Alex de Minaur because I'm a Demon stan. But I could see a slight window where Marcus Giron actually pulls that one out.
Okay, fair enough. I'll give it to de Minaur though, just based off of experience at majors, and they play similar games. So even if de Minaur is just a little bit away from 100%, I still think his 80 beats Marcos Giron's 90. I think. But on any given day, things could happen. Otto Virtanen versus Quinton Alice. I'm going to go Quinton Alice because I'm more familiar with his game than Otto. Mariano Navone versus Daniel Altmaier. I think Altmaier is a lot more comfortable on hard. I shouldn't say a lot. They're both relatively much more comfortable on clay courts. I'm going to give it to Altmaier than Navone. Dan Evans versus Karen Khachanov.
What has Karen Khachanov done lately? I can't remember him being a big part of the tennis story this last month. I mean, neither for
Yeah.
Dan Evans either.
But I know Karen doesn't like playing Dan Evans, so that just might be a matchup issue.
Good insight.
Mhm.
What's their head to head?
You looking it up?
Yes, I am.
While you're looking that up, I'm gonna see what our next match is on the bracket. Arnaldi versus Zachary Zvita. I'm gonna go with Arnaldi because I want him to have a big US Open. Actually, has Karen ever beat him?
Ooh, cool. It's for love. Wow.
It's for love for Dan Evans.
Yes.
When was the last time they played?
The last time they played was 2023 Barcelona.
Okay.
6-3, 6-4.
So let's go with Dan Evans. Just because we're gonna keep that trend going. Oh wait, I don't know why this app is or this website is telling me this Australian guy is playing Roman Saifulin, but that's not
Matthew
true.
Forbes.
That's Matthew Forbes, who just committed to Michigan State, right?
Go green.
And he won the USTA Boys 18 and unders, which guaranteed him a spot as a wild card into the US Open. And I'm not saying that he's gonna mop the floor with Roman Saifulin, but in my fantasy draw, just for him to kind of get the experience and be able to say that he has what it takes to be able to compete with these guys at the highest level, and because Roman Saifulin probably has never seen that young man play, and the opposite is true, Matthew Forbes can look up information and YouTube videos of Roman Saifulin, I'm going to give Matthew Forbes the win.
I'm giving it to Matthew Forbes.
I'm going to give Matthew Forbes the win.
The Spartan in me is telling me to give it to him. The assistant director for Residential Life is telling me to give it to him. So all things are Forbes.
By the way, if you are just joining us over on YouTube or Twitter/X, make sure you give me a follow and share this stream on Twitter and subscribe and give this video a like on YouTube. That really helps broaden the reach of the show and lets me know that you like this kind of content. So if you're just joining us, make sure you do that. I really would appreciate it. Next up, we have Jordan Thompson versus Constance Lestienne. I know Constant Lestienne of France can be kind of a tricky. I think he might be left-handed himself. Jordan Thompson, I think the last time I saw him play, he retired in his match, but I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he's healthy enough to get through that match. Funny enough, Hubert Hurkacz is up next, and he goes up against a qualifier from Kazakhstan who I've never heard of, Timofey Skatov, or maybe Skatov. Hubert Hurkacz has literally never been past the second round of the U.S. Open. Literally never. Oh my God. And if he wants to, this would be a good opportunity. I mean, Jordan Thompson might have something to say about that, but I'm going to imagine Hubert Hurkacz can work through those first two matches. We'll see. But yeah, that's a fun fact.
Court 7. Court 7. Mm-hmm.
You said what?
Court 7.
Mm-hmm. Where would you put Casper Ruud versus Jae-Won Yun? I think that's
Court 10. Court 10.
Court 10 is crazy.
Court 10, but Casper Ruud should win that match. I'm not the biggest.
No, that's not even who he's playing. He's playing Boo Yunka. Boo
Yunka Chikote?
Young Chakuti. Hold on.
Young Chikote?
Young Chaukete. No, that doesn't sound Chinese. Boo. He plays Boo from China. He plays Boo from China, and I would imagine, even though Casper Ruud probably doesn't have much footage of that gentleman playing, he should be able to get through that match, even though he hasn't been playing the best lately.
I have him making it very far in my draw. First time I
Casper Ruud?
Yeah, the first time you ever hear me say that about Casper Ruud.
Who do you have winning between these two legendary of the ATP Tour? You remember when I tried to talk about Gael Monfils' career, they told me he was a legend. Gael Monfils versus Diego Schwartzman. They told me Gael Monfils was a legend.
Club Sugar Daddy. All right. I have Gael Monfils winning this match. I think he's coming, and he literally just beat Carlos of Cincinnati. I'm not putting a lot of stake on that match, but Gael Monfils should win that match against Diego. I don't see any problems for him.
Agreed. And we're already in the bottom half of the draw, by the way, so we're making great time. Next we have Jan Chowinski versus Roberto Carabas Baena. I'm gonna go with Jan Chowinski just because I think Roberto Carabas Baena is more of a clay quarter. He's not terrible on hard, not terrible on hard. I'm gonna go with Jan.
I gave it to RCB. And go
I know Jerry Shang, aka Jerome, is what we call him. Even though his name is Shang Jung Chen, the lefty, like I think he's like 18, 19-year-old. He plays Alexander Bublik. I actually want Shang to get the victory there, but I think the last time he played though, he retired. And I don't know if it was one of those the U.S. Open's coming around, let me retire, or I actually feel something serious retire. But I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt that he wanted to just be fresh for the U.S. Open, and I think he can take out Bublik in my mind.
I mean, if Bublik decides to go out there and
be unserious as he normally is,
yeah. So anybody could beat him.
No, I wouldn't say anybody, but I mean, you're also not wrong. You're also
I wasn't say anybody. I was about to say somebody's name, and I was being so mean. All right.
Let's see.
Hugo Humbert versus Diego Montero.
I'm gonna go Hugo.
Yes,
but Diego Montero is a tough out. He's a very tough out.
Yes, I want Hugo to play like he played Carlos at Wimbledon everywhere, but I feel like he's no longer capable of giving me that every tournament, and that's very sad.
Yeah. Dominic Stricker is back at the U.S. Open after making, I want to say, the third or fourth round last year. He beat Tsitsipas in the second round, so I know he made it to the third round. And he faces Francisco Comasana. But Stricker just hasn't been in good form. But I don't know. But Stricker is defending a whole bunch of points, and sometimes that can kind of really stiffen you up, especially
Who was Comasano?
That sounds respectfully like a really good dish. I just don't know. I don't know much about his tennis style. Respectfully,
I gave it to Dominic Stricker. I don't even know who this man is. Never heard his name.
You have heard of Albert Ramos Vignoles, though, and I know you heard of. I know you heard of Matteo Berrettini.
And Berrettini is going to win that match.
He should. Why'd y'all stop commenting? Y'all ain't nobody left a comment about 10 minutes. I know y'all up in here listening to us chat and jabber away. Don't be shy in the comments if you're listening. Make sure to engage with us before you go to bed tonight. All right. I'll go with Matteo Berrettini. Really want to see that match between him and the guy below him, Taylor Fritz.
So is Taylor going to get there?
He's definitely should beat Camilo Ugo Carabelli. He definitely should beat him. Fritz has had first round losses at the U.S. Open before, so lesser known players. He has, and but
he lost it on the world stage on breakpoint. Yikes!
Yikes! Holger Rune versus Nakashima, which is kind of sort of a popcorn match. How'd you have that one going?
I did give it to Holger Rune. I think it'll be a force that I can see Brandon taking one set off Holger Rune, but it won't be too much of a problem for Holger.
Scott had Rybakina defeating Anisimova in his final on the women's side, by the way.
I got one of those.
One of those is even still quite a shock because Rybakina has never made it past the third round, and Anisimova hasn't made it past any significant round of a Grand Slam in about 2 years. So
I don't have Amanda going anywhere, but
all right, back to the men's action. I think I'll give a nod to Holger Rune to win that over Nakashima, but I would not be surprised if he comes out sloppy and Nakashima takes advantage of it. Would not be surprised.
Yeah.
Your fave, Pablo Carreño Busta versus
PCB. Hey, Go ahead and get after PCB. Get after PCB. It didn't go together, Miles, but give it to PCB.
And he's playing the guy with cornrows from France, Arthur Cazot. Have you seen those cornrows?
I have not seen those cornrows, and from the look of your face, I don't want to see them.
Hold, please.
Oh, you're gonna put them on screen.
Mm-hmm. You can go to the next one before I find this picture of Arthur Cazot.
Oh well, Nishioka versus Kecmanovic. I picked Nishioka, and Nishioka to win that match. I don't know if Kecmanovic has done much of anything lately. Mm-hmm. I will say I haven't watched neither one of these two players in last week. I actually took a break from tennis last week because it was moving. So if they did something last week, please let me know.
You know who else took a break and really wanted to try something different before the U.S. Open?
Oh,
Mr. Arthur Cazot.
Yeah.
Honestly, they really are tight. They really are tight braids. I can't even front. Whoever took his hair and did that time to grip that hair back, he went to a good shop in New York to get that done. It's not for him. It's not for him. Not when he unravels those things in about a week or two and stuff just ain't right no more.
In the words of
I will say, what did he say? He had it completely folded under. Whatever. Yeah, Arthur just.
I saw this picture on my Twitter feed because I refuse to call it X. I refuse to engage. So, okay.
I ain't gonna lie. If you look at the high quality picture, it may be a little distorted here on YouTube, but the braids are tight. I'm just worried about the after effect on his type of hair for those cornrows.
He ain't gonna take care of them.
We're gonna see. As soon as they start getting a little sweaty, yeah. It hardly ever works out well for that demographic to have that type of braids in their hair. It just doesn't work out well. Oh, Scott said he looks like Kuznetsova back in 2007, and she took those out really quickly. The next Grand Slam, she had like a pixie cut, or like a regular. She had to cut it all off. She literally cut it into a bob. So yeah, more power to you, Arthur Cazot. More power to you. All right, back to the bracket. I think I'm gonna give. I mean, he does play against Pablo Carreño Busta, who showed some form, even though he's been out for a long time. He showed some form at Winston-Salem. Once he got to the semifinals, he had to retire against Nicholson. So I'm going to give PCB the benefit of the doubt that he's healthy enough to get through a match against a guy that chose to get cornrows before the U.S. Open. Nishioka versus Kecmanovic. Nishioka had a whole meltdown in his last match that I remember him playing against Hubie Hurkacz. But also Kecmanovic has been in the wilderness for a couple of years now. Who knows? That's a 50-50 match that's definitely going to be on the back alley court. Sorry to say. I think I'll give it to Kecmanovic, though, just because Nishioka had a complete meltdown. But, Nishioka did win Atlanta a couple weeks back. He's the last man to win Atlanta. Atlanta is now not happening, and the last champion is Yoshihito.
Ben Shelton and
Francis Tiafoe were there, and Nishioka came up the champion.
We got some flops in American tennis. All right.
Speaking of flops in American tennis, Riley Opelka versus Lorenzo Musetti.
Get him out of here.
You know what's? I mean, honestly, although I really want Musetti to win that match, I picture in my mind with the way that Musetti plays tennis and the way that the way that Opelka can serve. Yeah. It could be a nightmare for Musetti, but please, Musetti, don't let that man get too far in the U.S. Open, please. Next, we have Francisco Cerundolo. He's lucky he has somebody that's not really shouldn't like
Offner is
really.
nobody. Sorry.
He's not a complete nobody, but Cerundolo hasn't been in magnificent form, so he's lucky he got a really decent draw there. So I'll give it to him. He probably won't be in the draw for long though, because I think either Thomas Martin Echeverry or Giovanni Impesci Pericard could take him out. I'm going to lean towards Pericard because of that big old serve.
Oh, I love that serve. I love
It's
that.
It's a nice serve. Alexandra Mueller versus Adam Walton. Is that correct?
Yeah. Who?
I don't know. that's definitely court 12.
Court 19. Is there even 19 courts?
One of the 19 is a practice court, I'm pretty sure.
Woo! That's where it should be because nobody's going.
Joey Benz said I can see Kesmanovic and Fucsovics pulling upsets tomorrow. Kesmanovic really wouldn't be considered an upset to me. It would just be, a first round win. Because I mean, Nishioka might be ranked higher than him, but both of them are unseeded. So, like, as far as betting purposes, that might be an upset, but in tennis eyes, it's about what and what. So, and I haven't even peeped who Fucsovics is playing yet. I don't know if we've gotten that far in the draw.
It's coming up, and like he plays Lehecka.
Yeah, I see. Okay, yeah, that would definitely be an upset. That would be an upset. Alexander Zverev should get through that match, and honestly, the rest of his section, unless Impesci Pericard can really push him. If they get there, we'll see. Rublev versus Thiago. Yeah. I guess I'll give it to Rublev. Even though they went 5 in Australia, and Thiago really pushed. Yeah, this year Thiago really pushed him. So I don't know. We shall see. Chris Eubanks versus Arthur Rinderknecht. You know what's funny? They kind of play similarly. Kinda. Like big serve, really forehand dependent. That their game is super revolved around that. So it's funny that they play each other first round. And I think they might know each other because Arthur went through the college system too. And obviously Chris Eubanks did. I don't know if they're that close in age that they might have played each other in college, but I'm sure they're familiar with each other's games because of playing on challengers and stuff like that. So
how did Chris do last week?
He got to the quarters of Winston-Salem, which is good. Okay. So I'm gonna give it to Chris. He lost to Mickelson in 7-5, 7-6 in the third, something like that.
Oh, at least it was close.
Hugo Grenier versus Mitchell Kruger. I don't know if that's related to Ashlyn Kruger or not, but I'm gonna go with the Frenchman. I think.
Come on, you gotta go with the American miles. It's the US
No.
You ain't no patriotism for you. Got it. Woo.
It comes and it goes. Martin Fucsovics versus Lehecka. Fucsovics won a match or two, maybe, I think, in Winston-Salem, but I was impressed with what I saw by year Lehecka in Cincinnati, especially given that he hadn't played since Madrid. So I think I'm going to give Lehecka the edge in that one. And I feel like most players on tour know that you got to come strong against Fucsovics because he's really not going to beat himself. So I think I'm going to give Lehecka that win, but he has to come good.
And Lehecka looked good at Cincinnati. He
did.
Medvedev, and then Francis beat him as well on his way to that final. So
sure did. Right, we're almost done. We're in the looks like we're in the Djokovic section now. Almost there. Almost there. Our Djokovic quarter, I should say. We have we have Sebastian Baez versus Luciano Darderi. I'm gonna go Darderi with the upset. I don't think I've had a seed be upset in the first round yet. I'm gonna go Darderi. Sumit Nagal versus Talon Griekspoor. I like Sumit Nagal.
I do too.
And I think he could do it. Did you pick Nagal to win?
Let's see. Oh, I know I picked Talon Griekspoor.
I'm gonna pick Sumit just because I think he can do it. Rinky Hijikata versus Davidovich Fokina is actually a pretty good matchup on paper. I think I'm gonna go Rinky because Rinky has had some good success at the U.S. Open. He's actually defending 4th round points, so either that's gonna bite him in the butt Or I don't
Doubles
know.
special. He's a good doubles player too, isn't he?
He is, but he's actually he's won a Australian Open doubles with someone else who I can't think of that's also Australian. But I've seen him play singles a couple good times.
I know you know off the bat, Karima.
If Karima, you're still watching, let us know who his partner was at the Australian Open where he won. Karima. Grigor Dimitrov. This is a good section for him, but he's also Grigor Dimitrov. So I'll put him through the first round.
To show up and play some days. He just beat Carlos in their practice set at the U.S. Open as well. Unfortunately, I mean he beat us this year in Miami, man. So I mean,
okay. Uzo. I can send you a link to an app. Actually, if you jot this down, there's an app called TNNS. Kind of like tennis, but missing a couple letters. And if you go to the fantasy part, they allow you to fill out a draft that's that's really interactive. It's accurate. You can just have fun with following to see how many matches you got right. So yeah, that's one way to do it. TNNS. That's an app you can download on your smartphone, and that'll be a good way to get a bracket filled out. Ben Shelton. Now we're officially in the Djokovic quarter in section. Ben Shelton versus Dominic Thiem. It's kind of a no-brainer to put Ben Shelton through there because Dominic Thiem has had no form on any level for a while, not even challenger level. My guy can't put matches together at that level either. So, yeah, this is going to be his last and final U.S. Open. It's sad because the fall from grace has really been quick.
Ooh, swift, Chad. I mean, that wrist injury took us out, and it's like we won that U.S. Open, and poof.
Did he even play the 2021 U.S. Open? Like, did he even get a chance to defend?
I thought he. Hold on.
No, I don't think he did. Did he? Because he had that wrist injury in Mallorca, which was the lead up to Wimbledon in 2021. I remember that.
No, he withdrew from 2021.
And by 2022, he would have needed a wild card to play, right? Which I don't know if he got.
Did he play? He did play. He lost to PCB.
And then last year he lost to Ben Shelton again, didn't he? Maybe like the first, second round.
But it was the second round. It was 7-6, and then Dominic Thiem gave him a walkover.
He got sick after that.
Yeah.
Uzo said he is watching Shelton Thiem live during the day session Ash tomorrow. Does that mean you're going to be there in person, Uzo? If so, live tweet me during the match. Let me know how it feels and what the vibe is in the match, because that's literally the opening match on the biggest stadium for the last Grand Slam of the year. So that's a great ticket to have.
Is that on Arthur?
That's on Arthur tomorrow at noon Eastern. So yeah,
I'll be tuned in.
Yeah. Uzo, if you're going to be there, like actually in the seat, let us know how it goes. That sounds like a fun matchup. Even though, I mean, everybody kind of knows Ben Shelton should win that match.
I picked Dominic Thiem just for the record.
Did you really?
I did.
Delusional, but okay, for sure. he might find the spirit. He might, because he really has had some great match wins at the U.S. Open over the years. It just has really fallen away from him.
I just need for him to have that moment, because sometimes he's also been close to winning the match. I think back to that Zverev match that he had at the French Open. I want to say last year, where he almost beat Zverev, and then poof, our wrist said no more.
That's going to be a hard fall for Shelton to take rankings wise if he does lose first round, because he got to the semis last year. So yeah. I don't want that to happen. Moving on, we have Luca Nardi versus Roberto Batista Agut.
My favorite.
RBA? Ooh, Karan, I'm not going to drag you for having some questionable faves today.
I'm talking about Luca Nardi.
Luca Nardi's your fave?
Oh yeah, because he did what needed to be done.
I thought you were talking about. I thought you were talking about RBA. I was like, come on now.
I can't even tell you the last match that man played.
I'll go Luca Nardi. I'll go Luca. Alexander Shevchenko versus Kupfer. They're going to be out there all day, and I think I'm going to give it to Kupfer.
All day, all night. They're going to be out there till 5 a.m.
Definitely court 8. Francis Tiafoe versus Kovacevic is actually going to be first on the night session, either first on the night session on Armstrong or after. I think it's him and Madison. No, it's him and Sabalenka tomorrow. No, wait. Yeah, I think it is him and Sabalenka tomorrow on Armstrong. In the night session. Armstrong. Is it Tiafoe that is it Sabalenka that follows him?
Give me 1 second. I'm getting there. 7 o'clock. Yes.
Okay, cool. Yeah, they should both get wins. Sabalenka and Tiafoe. Hopefully, Tiafoe comes to play this U.S. Open because he has some stuff to prove. I know he just got to the final of Cincinnati, which is great. That's his first Masters 1000 final, but he needs to build
very good tennis. Tennis.
He needs to keep building, and Kovacevic is somebody he should be handling in the first round of a slam. So. Yeah. Tiafoe, get through this, please. And we're making good time. Alexei Popyrin versus Soon Woon Kwon using a protected ranking. Go Popyrin, winning that title in Canada, the biggest of his career. Pedro Martinez versus who?
Yeah, who and who, but Pedro Martinez should win.
Pedro Martinez versus Max Kazankowski. I'm going to go with the qualifier because I don't know what Pedro Martinez has done lately, to be honest.
What has the qualifier done lately? Besides
won three matches.
Okay.
In a row. I mean, you laugh, but like winning 3 matches in a row is good. Like,
yeah.
That would get you, winning 3 matches in a row would get you to like at least the qualies at a 250. Like, it would get you to like the round of 16 at a Masters 1000. Like, winning 3 matches in a row at any level is good stuff. So I'll take it. And then second to last, we have Laszlo Djere versus Jan-Lennard Struff. I'm going to go with Struff just because I want Struff to be able to test the last man that we're going to talk about here, which is Novak Djokovic, who takes on Radu Albat. Nobody cares, but Djokovic is going to go through because they give him the softest draws ever. All right. That was the first round, ladies and gentlemen. It always takes the longest, and then we're able to kind of ease it up from there. Let's go from the top again and pick our second rounds, and let's get on out of here. Sinner should beat Mickelson, dope or not. Wawrinka versus Jari. I don't know, man.
I don't know. Any, mini, mighty, mo.
I'm literally gonna do eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch a pickle by the throat. If it hollers, let it go. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. It landed on Jerry, but I'm gonna go with Wawrinka.
I actually had Wawrinka winning that match as well in my draw.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds a stretch that Wawrinka could win back-to-back matches at a slam, but hey, Nicholas Jarry hasn't won back-to-back matches anywhere. So, what do you do? Arthur Fils versus Gabriel Diallo. I like that match with representation, but I think Fils is going to be a little bit too strong off the ground for young Diallo. I mean, both of them are young, but still. Tommy Paul versus Vukic. Tommy Paul should have too much in the tank. Match. Yeah, he should have too much for Vukic, who really just relies on a forehand. He doesn't really have a backhand. Kokkinakis versus Borges. I'm going to go with Nuno just because Kokkinakis is unserious, but he is serious enough to beat Tsitsipas in the first round.
I was about to say.
He is serious enough to beat Tsitsipas in the first round, but to sustain it, I don't know. Let's see. Felix Auger-Aliassime versus Taro Daniel. Felix, please do not mess up that opportunity because you should be winning that match 10 days out of 10. Flavio Caboli. I know, right? Flavio Caboli versus Pavel Karpov. I'm going to keep the Caboli and Stromboli going. Caboli, Stromboli, which is a good. The Strombolis are good, by the way, y'all. I had one night when I was drunk not a minute long ago in New Orleans, and it might not have been the most like seasoned, flavorful thing, but that is a nice pocket of meat and cheese. I enjoyed that. Stromboli's good. Okay. Hamad Medjedovic versus Daniil Medvedev may look interesting on paper because Medjedovic is like an up and comer that's been talked about, but his season has been really hit or miss. So I'm gonna go with Medvedev because it's the U.S. Open. It's Medvedev. Carlos Alcaraz versus Shapovalov. Alcaraz all day. Diaz Acosta versus Zhang Zhizhen Triple Z for the win. David Goffin versus Borna George. Lord, they're gonna be out there all day.
It's gonna be out there all day on court 13, but I gotta give it to Borna George.
I'll give it to Borna. The fresher legs, probably. Thomas Mahatch versus Sebastian Korda. I know I should be patriotic here. I know I should be.
No, you don't.
I know I should be patriotic, but I really want to pick Thomas Mahatch, and that's what I'm gonna do.
I like that in you.
Alex de Minaur, that's a good second round for him. He should be able to work through. I mean, I think if he's playing the U.S. Open, I would imagine he is healthy enough to play. So I'm gonna get him through that first and second round match. Scott said Strombolis are good. I agree, they are. Daniel Altmaier versus Dan Evans. That's a battle of one-handed backhands. I think I'm gonna give that to
get rid of him.
I think I'm gonna give it to Dan Evans because Dan Evans has been to the fourth round once or twice here at the U.S.
I was
Open.
just trying to look up his best result at the U.S. Open.
I think it's been a fourth round once or twice, so I'm gonna give it to Dan Evans. Matteo Arnaldi versus our guy. What's his name?
Matthew.
What's his last name?
Your draw is.
My draw is so wrong.
Matthew Forbes.
Matthew Forbes. Matthew Forbes. I think one run or one match win and you're done is good. Arnaldi should.
I'm on back because classes start
good.
This week.
Go on and get your dorm together. It's okay, brother. We still gonna be rooting for you. Jordan Thompson versus Hubie Hurkacz. That's going to be on a back alley court, but whatever.
When you tell me that Hubie has never made it past the second round,
he hasn't.
It's me, and so, but this right here is a good opportunity for him to do so. And so now knowing that I still do pick him in my draw to make it to the second round, but if he doesn't, I'm gonna go down on him on the sweating line. He's gonna be a stop for the rest of his life.
Yep. But it's going to go 5 sets because it's Hubie Hurkacz. Ooh, Casper Ruud versus Gael Monfils.
Rude.
Nope. Gael. Sorry.
Oh.
Sorry.
Gael is just getting to the ire of my being right now, but that's okay.
Jerry Shang versus Jan Choinski. Go with Jerry. Ugo Humbert versus Dominic Stricker. That's a battle of lefties if it happens. Ugo. Berrettini versus Fritz.
Can I say I want to see this on Armstrong at like 9:00 at night?
No, I want to see this on Ash.
You want to see this on Ash?
I definitely want to see this on Ash.
I don't think Taylor Fritz should ever see Ash Stadium, but
he has already. He already has seen Ash.
Well, he should never again. They're actually gonna probably put this on Armstrong because this is Carlos and Novak night, so they're gonna be on grandstand anyway. I want Berrettini to win this match. Same. But Will Taylor Fritz in his form and all that he's done and you know what? Scratch that because I don't know what he's done lately at the U.S. Open, and he's prone to losing at the U.S.
Fritz
Open.
made the quarterfinals last year. He lost very handily to Djokovic, but he made the quarters last year.
But he's also known to lose in the first round, as we talked about when he lost in break points against. I don't even know. He was crying, and that he was crying off the court to his girlfriend. Sorry, Taylor, if you're listening. I want Berrettini to win, so I'm going to say that you should pick Berrettini to win that match.
I'll go with Big Berrettini for the upset too. Go Big Berrettini.
And Berrettini has picked up some titles recently, correct?
He sure has. Mm-hmm. They've been on clay, but a title is kind of a title when you're coming from where Berrettini has come from. So, yeah, Berrettini with the upset. Next, we got Holger Rune versus your guy Pablo Carreño Busta.
The heart says PCB. The tennis IQ says Holger Rune.
I'll go with Holger. And I'm ready for Holger to kind of put away the BS and start really being who everybody thinks he should be.
When he said that he is the Carlos, he should be in a conversation with Carlos and Yannick. I'm waiting for him to start arriving so he can.
Yeah, I'm ready for the resume. Like he has he has almost trophies. Like he has stuff that makes you pay attention. Like he has one Masters 1000. He has a couple of runner-ups at some big clay court ones. He has a Grand Slam. He has a couple of Grand Slam quarters. I'm ready for him to be in a semi or a final and actually win some of these Masters 1000s kind of sort of regularly, or like seem like it's not a shock. And I kind of want to see him in that mix. So he needs to take advantage of this draw, which is really not terrible.
It's not terrible for him.
Nakashima and potentially Carreño Busta are definitely accomplished players in their own right, but it could be a lot worse. It could be a lot worse.
He should be seeing Carlos.
Yeah. Kecmanovic Musetti.
I'm gonna give it to Musetti because he's had a semi good season in my opinion.
No, Musetti's had the best season of his career.
Has he for real?
Yeah, Musetti's never been to a semifinal of a major. He got to the semis of Wimbledon this year.
I thought that he got to a semifinal at a French.
Nah, he should have maybe, but he didn't.
Okay.
Let's see. And this is all dependent on him getting through that damn Riley Opelka match.
The Opelka match, yeah.
He better be blocking those serves with his one-handed backhand for his life. Chip in charge. Chip in charge. Francisco Cerundolo versus Big Giovanni and Pesci Pericard. Pesci Pericard, do your thing, buddy. Do your thing.
Zverev.
Walton versus Zverev. Zverev, I guess. I guess.
They're gonna make us suffer and watch that on ESPN.
They will. They will.
They're gonna make us suffer. Oh, I'm so sorry, but Eubanks is out of here.
Yeah, it doesn't bode well that he goes up against Rublev if he gets through his first round. So Rublev is going through that one. Hugo Grenier versus Yuri Lehechka. I actually want Yuri Lehechka to start stepping up more and being in that conversation with Sinner, Alcaraz, and Rune. He's in the same age bracket, and I think he has the goods. Big Four, yeah. Yeah, go sneak a couple Wimbledons in here, Lehechka. Go get your Andy Murray on. Go get your Andy Murray on. Luciano Darderi versus Sumit Nagal. I think I'm gonna go Darderi and have like a nice little third round run. Rinky Hijikata versus Dimitrov. Dimitrov is gonna try his best to flop, but I'm gonna give it to Dimitrov. Ben Shelton versus Luca Nardi. That could be an interesting little rivalry that may happen in the future. Who knows? But I'm gonna go with Ben. Dominic Kupfer versus Francis Tiafoe. You know what's funny about that matchup?
What?
I watched it in person in Dallas. At least I think I did. I'm pretty sure that's where they played, and Francis Tiafoe got to like the quarters, and Kupfer just outsteadied him, and that was a section of the season.
6'4", 6'2". Jesus.
Yeah, a lot of people in the audience that day were unhappy campers, to say the least. But if Francis plays his best, Dominic Kupfer can make him stay out there for a while. But I think Francis should win that.
This is Francis' revenge tour. Francis Tiafoe.
Would agree. Mm-hmm. The Francis Tiafoe revenge tour. Sign me up for that. Yeah. Alexei Popyrin versus Alexei Popyrin. I don't know who. I know who Pedro Martinez is. I know who Pedro Martinez is, but that other Max Kasankowski. Hey, make a believer out of me, Kasankowski. Make one. Prove me wrong. But I'm gonna give that win to Popyrin, and then we got Jan-Lennard Struff versus Djokovic. Obviously,
We just know he's moving through the draw at this point until we find a matchup where he can lose.
B. Quecky got some nerve. He said, "I'm never chosen to do one, and I was your hidden partner. LOL, ain't that something?" Has B. Quecky ever said that he wanted to come up on TV or not TV on the screen and do anything with me?
No, I don't think I've ever. He's too busy trying to argue with me. He's too busy trying to argue with me in Spaces.
Oh, okay. Just making sure. Just making sure. Just making sure. You have to make yourself available, B. Quacky, and you're not screaming, "Hey, let's do some content with Miles." That's not what you're screaming. So maybe if you start screaming differently, we might be able to do some content together. All right. let's start back up the top and get this show back on the road so we can get out of here. All right. Center versus Wawrinka. Center. Feast versus Tommy Paul. Yeah, sign me up for that.
Sign me up for this one.
Sign me up for that.
For real.
Yeah, but I'm going to give, I mean, I should be all patriotic and stuff and, you know, so on and so forth. But Arthur Feast, this is your time to shine, buddy. Get to another 4th round. Nuno Borges versus Felix Auger-Aliassime. Also your time to shine, buddy. Felix, get to another 4th round of a U.S. Open. Flavio Caboli versus Medvedev. Could be tricky, but Medvedev. Carlos Alcaraz versus Zhang Zhizhen. Also maybe possibly could be tricky. Carlos Alcaraz. Triple Z. We like you though. Coric versus Mahach. Go on, Thomas Mahach, with your bad self and your short shorts. Do your thing.
Agreed.
Alex de Minaur versus Dan Evans. De Minaur, keep it going. Keep it going, Demon. Keep it going, Demon. Matteo Arnaldi versus Hubert Hurkacz.
I'm
picking Arnaldi. Sorry.
What happened?
Sorry. It's happening. Hubie Hurkacz at this specific, actually at Hubie Hurkacz in majors in general, you can't trust them, but specifically in this major. So I'm Matteo Arnaldi. Do your thing, buddy. Wow. Gael Monfils versus Jerry.
This your draw, Chad. I don't know how you got here, but I'm gonna pick Jerry.
I'll pick Jerry too. Hopefully, wait. Can we go find out where Jerry Shank? Like, I know he retired in his last match, but like, at what point was it? Because sometimes the point in the match that you retire, you can get an idea if this was like an injury.
I don't think the match ever did the match ever happen. I think it was a straight walkover.
Let me see. Hold on. Oh yeah, it was a straight walkover. So yeah, so he's probably fine. That was 5 days ago, and he won 2 matches in straight sets to get to that 3rd round against Sonego.
He's going to Serena Williams.
Yeah. So yeah, Jerry Shang, be with it and get that win over Gael Monfils. This is your coming out party, Jerry Shang. Ugo Humbert versus Berrettini. Berrettini gonna get it together. Berrettini gonna get it together. Holger Rune versus Musetti. This is what we want to see.
Yeah, this is what I want to see, and I want Holger to win it.
Me too. Yeah, Musetti has had a great season actually, and I do think Musetti and Rune are going to keep meeting against each other, but hopefully much later on in Grand Slams, not the 3rd round. But because Musetti's already kind of had his moment in the sun to shine and kind of break that Grand Slam hurdle, getting to semifinal, excuse me, I want Holger to do the same.
And he disappointed me.
Right. Then we have Giovanni Impesci Pericard versus Alexander Zverev. Y'all know who I'm picking, and it's not Zverev.
Oh.
It's not.
My heart says that.
My fantasy.
Okay, well, you're right. All right, amen.
My fantasy.
That's what it is, fantasy. All right.
Rublev versus Lehechka. Keeping with my fantasy, Lehechka is going to take out Rublev. Rublev might take out himself. Who knows? Darderi versus Dimitrov. Dimitrov, do your thing.
And then you and I might split.
Ben Shelton versus.
I want to go Tiafoe to get that first win because I believe that Tiafoe, part of his struggles has been that he lost to Ben at that U.S. Open. Was that 2 years ago or was it last year? No, it was
just last year. Oh,
Jesus. And so I think Francis is going to come out if this match happens. Let me say that. If this match happens, Francis is going to come out and recognize that he has to take this match more serious, considering he's already lost to him twice at the U.S. Open, and then he lost a title to him at Houston. I think Francis pulls this out in a tight 5th setter. But considering Francis's form, I'm going to give it to Francis.
All right. I'm not mad at it. I'm gonna go with Francis. Like we said, this is the Francis Redemption Tour. He's playing big ball. I think he's gonna circle this matchup if it happens.
Yes.
And get his behind in the 4th round of the U.S. Open once again. So let's go with Big Foe.
New coach. I wonder what he will have to say about this matchup and kind of the tactics that Francis should do. So,
yeah, not bad. Not bad.
Popper ain't doing nothing with Novak.
You sure? You sure? You sure?
Yeah.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Well, yes, because we saw what he could do at Wimbledon. It wasn't much enough.
Didn't he take a set off of him?
Okay, he took a set. Okay, he didn't win the match.
And guess what? At the U.S. Open, he's going to take 3.
Popperin?
No, he's going to take 3 sets. Popperin.
All right. So Novak came out of. Okay, you took Novak out in the 3rd. Okay, I got Novak coming out, Francis, but okay.
Yeah, he gonna get out of here regardless. He can get out of there regardless. Boo, boo, go home. Sinner versus Arthur Fils. I like
Doper
that matchup.
Gotta go.
Oh, not Doper.
Doper gotta go. Doper gotta go.
I want Arthur Fils to win that match. My heart wants that, but I think he's just a couple of notches, maybe more than a couple of notches, unfortunately,
he's not ready.
away from where Sinner is at the moment.
He's not ready. But
yes. Even if Sinner is
a doper.
Yeah. Scott told me to be for real about Popper taking out Djokovic. Hey, Djokovic.
Thank you, Scott.
Who's beating Djokovic at the U.S. Open? First of all, let's think about who's beating Djokovic at the U.S. Open. Who's actually beating him? 2022, the COVID virus beat him because he couldn't get in the draw.
Daniel Medvedev.
2021, Medvedev beat him because he cried the whole time. 2020, Pablo Carreño Busta frustrated him enough that he defaulted himself. 2019, what happened in 2019? What happened?
God, did he win it?
No, Rafa won in 2019.
Did he show up?
Did he? Hey, Ghosty. Thanks for tuning in, Ghosty. Ghosty, do you know who Djokovic lost in the 2019 U.S. Open?
He lost to Stan Wawrinka in a walkover. I know that's right.
Okay, so we're gonna get a walkover over Popperin. Yeah, all right. It's possible. 2018 he won. 2017, damn, who beat him in 2017? This is how not memorable that man is. First of all,
did he even play
in 2017? Did he?
Because he was out at some point. Did he play 2017?
Yeah. I know Rafa won that year.
I don't think he played 2017 because that's the year Roger won Australia and Wimbledon, and I don't think Novak was in those draws, but I could be wrong.
He was in the Australian and Wimbledon draws. Let's see. One of the few times I Google Novak Djokovic.
I'm sitting here and ain't nothing popping up to you.
You can go to Wikipedia and go to his career statistics, Grand Slam performance timeline. He didn't play in 2017. 2016, he got to the final. 2016, he got to the final and lost to Stan. Who did he lose to in 2019? Oh, fourth round retired against Wawrinka. Loser.
Yeah, thank God for Stan. Loser.
All right. Yeah. He's out. He's out. Where were we in the draw? Sinner is taking out Fils. Felix versus Medvedev.
Well, you already know how that one's going. Even though he beat him on clay, you know how this one is going.
That was at the Olympics, right?
Yes.
Man, I don't know how that's going to translate to hard, but Medvedev is at his strongest usually.
It's not.
All right. Okay. All right, fine. I'll give it to Medvedev. Which honestly, I wouldn't even be mad if Medvedev wins this US Open. I really do. I don't want Medvedev to go down as a one slam champ. He's too good. He's not my favorite, but he is too good. He is too good to go down as a one time. He's been to like 17,000 finals.
And he's lost some of them to Novak, and that's why he should be a one time, because losing a Novak
he should have beat Carlos Alcaraz versus Thomas Mahac in the fourth round. Sign me up for that. I'm going Carlos, though. I'm going Carlos.
Young goat.
Alex de Minaur versus Matteo Arnaldi. That could get tricky. That could get tricky. I'm gonna go with the Arnaldi breakthrough at this tournament. I I think. I just feel it. I could be wrong, but I do feel it. Yeah, Ghosty agrees. Medvedev is too good for only one slam title. I'm glad you agree, Ghosty. Let's see. Next fourth round match. Jerry Shang. I know if you're just joining me, it seems like a reach that he would make it this far. And maybe a reach that Matteo Berrettini would make it this far. But Berrettini is going one more round again.
Yes,
because I believe in it. I believe in him. He's not done yet.
The face.
Then we got Holger Rune versus Mpeshi Pericard. I actually think Holger could really what's the word I want to use here? Diffuse. That's exactly the word I wanted to use. I think he could really diffuse a good Mpeshi Pericard serve. So I'm gonna go with Holger Rune, but you know what? With my luck, Holger Rune might go out first round to Nakashima. So honestly, I just my luck.
The fact that you already know that.
Hey, fantasy draw, my picks. This is how I want it to go.
Lehechka should win this match.
Lehechka should beat Dimitrov. Okay, I'll go with that. I'll go with Lehechka having a good breakout U.S. Open. Then we got a fourth round with Francis Tiafoe and Alexei Popyrin. You heard it here first.
And give it to Francis.
And Francis is taking that one. All right. All right. All right. Let's go again. We're doing great as far as time. Let's go to the top. We got Sinner Medvedev. I personally am giving that to Medvedev. I don't think Medvedev beat him at Wimbledon. He can beat him again at the U.S. Open.
What happened? What is their actual head-to-head? Does Sinner lead that?
It's about even now. Because Sinner won like 3 or 4 in a row. And at one point, Medvedev had won like 3 or 4 in a row. So what is it? Have you found it yet?
It's 7-5 Medvedev.
It's gonna be 8-5 in about a week and a half. Don't you worry.
Before this last year, where Yannick
wasn't it like 5-love? Wasn't it 6-love for Medvedev at one point? Or 5-love or something like that?
It was 6-love. Yeah. And then Yannick went on a tear 2023 through 2024, and then Daniil just got him. So I mean, I'm not upset with your pick.
Yeah, Ghosty is still lost at me picking Popyrin to beat Djokovic, but this is my fun, actually entertaining ATP draw. If I could really pull the strings instead of just them making the draw easy for Djokovic time after time after time after time, this is how I would want it to go. So yeah,
now we need to go ask Biden to make it a condition and be vaccinated to come into the States.
Can Biden still do things like that?
Yeah, he took it away, Chad. That's the only reason Novak allowed here, Chad.
All right, I'm picking Medvedev to beat Sinner in the quarters. Alcaraz versus Arnaldi in the quarters. Giving that to Alcaraz.
Tore that ass with the Indian Wales.
Berrettini versus Rune in the quarters. Gonna give that. I'm already this far on Rune. Might as well keep giving it to him.
Yikes! Okay, that's what my faith in that I was gonna get after Berrettini.
You gonna give it to Berrettini? You gonna give it to Berrettini? All right. I'll change it. I'll give it to Berrettini. That will put him in another U.S. Open semi. Fine. I'm cool with that. I'm cool with it.
Yes.
All right. Lehechka versus Tiafoe in the quarters.
I'm going Tiafoe. Tiafoe just beat him.
Okay. All right, Tiafoe. You can make a fool out of me again for like the 17,000th time. It's fine. It's fine. I'm so used to it. My big red nose is right here. Philip said that Rune is making the semis for real. Philip, Alonso, Yerby, Ford. I'm with it. I am totally like, okay, there are some things in Rune's, like, I guess, past or just like, person that do give me some pause. And he hasn't done enough for me to like put a big red cancel on his face yet. His game speaks a lot for him when it's on. Unfortunately, it's been ebbing and flowing a lot, and more ebbing than flowing. But I want to see him crack a Grand Slam quarterfinal. I really do. And Ghosty's with it too. Tiafo digs American hardcourts. He rises to the occasion. So yeah, let's put him back in that semifinal. Let's put him back in that semifinal. So we're looking at, just so you guys know where we're looking at. We're looking at a Medvedev, Carlos Alcaraz, and Berrettini Tiafo semifinal.
Which one you want to go through first?
Alcaraz is going to beat Medvedev in retaliation for that semifinal they played last year. So
yeah. Thank you. Okay, great.
Alcaraz is into his second U.S. Open final. You heard it here first.
This is going to be a tough match either way for Francis. I am going to say, because this is the final that I do have in my
I was just about to say, pause. Karan, you said it at the top of our recording. Do you mean you have pulled your strings throughout this entire 1.5 hour stream and about to convince me to put Tiafo in a Grand Slam final?
No, actually I wasn't, because I don't have Ben Shelton winning his first round match. That's
delusional. That's delusional, first of all.
Okay, but not too much on Dominic Thiem. But I do believe that Francis Tiafo will finally make his Grand Slam final debut at the U.S. Open. He seemed locked in, dialed in, all in at Cincinnati. And he actually got to a tiebreak in that first set against Jannik Sinner, if I'm not mistaken.
He did. He did.
And so I'm going to choose to have faith in this black man in this U.S. Open hardcourt where he has.
Oh wait, those of you who don't want to make this a race issue, don't turn off your stream, because I know somebody just rolled their eyes really, really hard. Sorry.
Oh, my bad.
They heard the word black and they were like, "Oh, brother." Don't leave the stream. Don't leave the stream.
Well, look, we ain't had too many of us out here making Grand Slam finals. This
is literally, if Francis Tiafo makes the final, it'll be the first time since 2008, more than a decade ago.
So I'm going to give it to Francis. However, I would not mind seeing Berrettini make a U.S. Open final. I will say that. But I want to see a Carlos Francis, because it harkens back to that Wimbledon match they just literally had a couple of weeks ago, and that was some good tennis on both ends.
Do you think a Berrettini Alcaraz match looks better or worse than a Tiafo Alcaraz match?
I think the Francis looks better than the Berrettini.
There's evidence to go both ways, though, to be honest.
I agree.
Alcaraz and Berrettini played a fantastic match in Melbourne, and Alcaraz and Tiafo played a fantastic match at Wimbledon. So,
and Alcaraz last year on his way to that title at Wimbledon beat Berrettini on his way there.
He sure did. Yeah, but that wasn't as competitive as their Australian Open match.
Yeah, 2-6, 6-3 rest of the games.
Why am I stressing myself out over some things that possibly might not even happen? Because unfortunately, I do live in the world where Novak Djokovic still picks up a damn tennis racket and just will not leave us alone. So he'll probably be in the.
I love what you said. Unfortunate, because it's really a sad world.
It really is unfortunate. But maybe if I have to spin this, I've said this before. If Djokovic does the things that I don't want him to do and runs the gambit and wins a second consecutive U.S. Open, I would hope for the love of God that he decides either at that moment or very quickly afterwards to retire, because there's nothing left to do.
He was
leave us alone.
He was delusional and said in an interview that he can see himself playing to 2028. And at that point in time, I might have to turn off tennis.
Yeah, if he's in the 2028 Olympics, I give up. Because at that point, he would have had, it would be very clear to me that there is some like witch or brew or something working on his behalf that is not natural.
Okay, Chuck, I'll give that to Venus, okay?
Oh, well.
That's we saying retired, but we retired anyway. But I'm going to pick Francis. I understand if you pick Berrettini for this. I understand one wholeheartedly, and I wouldn't argue with you.
Ghosty is funny. Yes, it is Ghosty. It is fine time.
What does your heart tell you, Miles?
About this final or this fantasy final that actually I don't know if I've actually picked the winner of the semifinal yet. Hold on. No, I didn't. I'm still stuck on Berrettini or Tiafoe in a hypothetical world. Oh, jeez. F it. I'm already this deep in on Tiafoe. Go to Tiafoe.
Amen.
And then that leaves me with the Carlos Alcaraz and Tiafoe final. And I still
I don't get delusional here.
Yeah, although it would honestly make it I just turned 31, thank God. It would make my 30s if I saw a black man win a slam, specifically at the US Open, and it actually being Francis Tiafoe. I don't think I would ever that would be the pinnacle of what I've ever wanted to share and really glow and talk about on my platform. That would be amazing, especially right after Coco Gauff did it last year. That would be that would be something. I want to believe. I want to believe. I want to believe.
I'm glad you want to believe. Carlos has never, and I mean he has to do it at some point in time. Carlos has never lost a Grand Slam final that he's been in.
And is it going to be against Francis Tiafoe?
And that is where I hang my hat because I see it being against a Novak Djokovic, against a
I can see it against Yannick. I can't see it against Novak Djokovic. He's already taken his card out the window in Grand Slam finals.
So for that reason, I'm picking Carlos to win the tournament. However, I do hearken back to that great match they had at Wimbledon and recognize that if Francis comes to play, and I know Carlos hates a fast court like that, even though he's won here, it could be some problems.
I'm gonna give Carlos the U.S. Open trophy for a second time. Man. Just the way we've talked through this fantasy draw. If Francis gets to that final, I'm gonna be thrilled. If he manages to win it, just
revenge tour complete. And you heard it here, folks. In this space with Karan and Miles, this is the Francis Tiafoe revenge tour.
Especially off the heels of everybody giving him grief for calling other people clowns. Yeah,
correct.
Run it up.
Correct. This is recorded. I want this sent to Francis Tiafoe that this is his revenge tour.
All 330 of you listening and watching this, or the ones of you watching this back, don't go too hard on us now if none of this happens. Don't you can definitely clip this up and be like, didn't you say Francis Tiafoe was getting to the final? Yes, I did. Be respectful. Be respectful. But if it actually happens, know that me and Karan said that. It actually was Karan. It was Karan first, so I'll give him his credit. But yeah, it was said here on Tuned into Tennis. It was said here.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah, Ghosty said Tiafoe's been Ghosty. We're in the land of delusion in the moment, but he's bringing us back to reality. He said Tiafoe's been grinding for a while, but that sort of underdog slam run more likely in the WTA. I mean, yes.
But it's already. But it's like every year we have that underdog story in the WTA. Although I'm the biggest Carlos fan, and I want to see him pick up another U.S. Open and then collect the Australian, so he holds all 2,000 points of every one of them at one point in time. I would love for Francis or an underdog to come out of the ATP and win a title.
Can ChatGPT create graphics off of what I want it to look like? Because if I was able to speak into my phone and be like, hey, can you create me a picture of Francis Tiafoe holding the U.S. Open trophy and just boom, put it on the screen? I'd love that, but I don't think we're there yet.
I don't think it's that. Well, listen, we don't need to get too much further.
Yeah, because AI really is kind of scary. You know what hasn't been scary, my friend, is this conversation. Well, maybe we kind of have gone into some scary parts of the of the pool. Maybe we have gone into some scary parts. But it's mostly been very enjoyable and quicker than our women's draw preview. But that's okay.
Kareem was in here forever.
Yeah, me and Karima really were in here talking quite a bit.
I was laying in the bed and said, "Ooh, they still going?"
Somebody said that they started cooking their dinner, ate it, and came back, and we were. Still
I ate my steak and potatoes, and I came back, and you and Kareem was still talking. And then I got in the bed, clicked away, and then came back, and I said, "Oh, they still talking." Heck, I watched the whole documentary. No, I'm playing.
Look who's in the chat. Look at David.
Oh, hey, David.
that is crazy.
Because he giving us that old dry. Oh, hey.
No, I got some exclamation points on it.
Okay, is that for
Ghosty's asking what is Q Money's real name so he can follow.
Karan Green. There's a.
Next time you come on, Karan, you know how like mine says at the bottom, tuned into tennis. I don't know if that's something I have to fix on my end when I give the invite out. But you can like actually put your @ there. You know what? Actually, hold on. I can write it right here. Pause.
Miles don't let us come out on StreamYard all the time.
You make it sound like I got you like yapped up in a basement or something. Oh my Jesus. Karan, spell your Twitter name. Isn't it Q Money too? No, it's not. Is it?
Miles, look, I set that up so long ago. Hold, please.
Hold on, I can find it. Hold on.
Yeah, it's Q_money 94.
Okay, cool. There we go. Did this work? There we go. Follow Karan on Twitter, Q_money 94. A good follow. All right. So there you go. And Q-Ron like the text? I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's exactly like the text. Yeah.
Yep. Thank you, David. I appreciate it. David, wait, you've been watching this whole time and those are your only 2 comments? Hey, that's wild. And we did a great job. You have had nothing to say throughout this whole hour and 45 minutes? Please somebody didn't make that up.
I didn't. We got to text from David. Wow.
Look at that.
You was up here.
How the mighty have fallen.
Wow. That's crazy.
Ghosty said, please tell me you're Draymond's cousin with the Spartan hat.
No, but he is one of my favorite on my team, the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, you like the heathens that just started boxing up everybody, huh?
Okay, heathens is a strong word now.
I didn't call him a criminal.
Protector, enforcer.
Enforcer, defensive enthusiast. There we go.
Not too much on him, Miles.
Defensive enthusiast. All right, guys. Wow. This has truly been fun. The US Open literally starts in sub 12 hours from now. So if this stream and the prior stream hasn't gotten you ready for a solid 2 weeks of fun, I'm not sure what else will. Like I've said, if you are inclined on holding me and Karan to what we've said in this draw, feel free to clip what we've said and put it against us on our socials, because that creates banter and conversation and good laughs. So yeah, I encourage it.
And I'm you guys 10 toes down.
Yeah, I'm still gonna be like I said what I said, but hey. I may change on it, but I did say what I said.
Correct.
Ghosty, take care. The rest of you out there that are watching on YouTube and or Twitter, make sure to like this stream, share it with your other tennis friends. If you're watching on YouTube or watching back on YouTube, make sure that you are subscribed to Tune Into Tennis. We are dangerously close to 500 subscribers, which has been a goal of mine for a while.
Congrats, Miles.
Thank you. subscribers means we're headed in the right place. It just, it just helps the growth of the channel. So yeah, keep doing all that stuff. I appreciate you guys rocking with me. Karan, thank you for taking time out of your Sunday. I know you're very busy being let me get this straight, the RA supervisor.
My title is assistant director of residential.
I know it just sounds better when I say that. It sounds better when I say
all the people
the RA supervisor.
Right now. Got it.
I appreciate you doing this for me, brother. I really appreciate it. You guys have a fun US Open. I'll be doing some more streams, maybe round by round, or some really, really hyped up matches that I'm excited to see. I have like 2 televisions now in my little makeshift studio, plus a laptop and a phone, so I shouldn't be missing.
Oh, you got money.
I don't. The one TV is a Hisense and the other is like a Vizio. That ain't.
I got the Hisense too. What that mean?
We're not swimming in dollars over here, but we're trying to give good content to the people. So I appreciate all 350 of you guys. Now I like that number. I thank you guys for tapping in and tuning in with me. We are gonna go ahead and sign off. Do all the fun things on socials. Share this across socials if you enjoyed it. We will talk to you guys soon. Until next time, take care and enjoy watching some tennis. Bye, everybody.
Peace.